Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to answer the question as to how many sessions does it take to see good results, which is a common question I get from dog owners who are seeking information about this system. Now, understand that in terms of how this system of training approaches training itself by way of a relationship problem, okay, looking at training as a type of a intervention. Okay, just like, again, talk about the parenting example, it's really no different. Okay, once you're experiencing a relationship problem, it really is about focusing in on the role of the dog owner in terms of dogs as social animals and with influence part of the equation. So understand that every situation is different, okay? Everybody's at a different place. And in terms of how much help people need, that's the same rule applies. Everybody needs, more help, less help. And this is why, again, I do training session to session as needed. And typically what I recommend for people to get started is usually a home visit session. I mean, that's where you spend the most time with your dog. That's your dog's comfort zone. So again, if you're looking to decide coming to me for training, which is an option, of course, or home visit, I always recommend, if possible, okay, the home visit session to get started, at least for a couple sessions. Now, in terms of how much training, understand just as you go, and typically, you want to leave about a week in between scheduling sessions so that some change can happen. So you have about 7 days to be able to interact with your dog the way that I show, create some level of change, and then schedule sessions as needed. But in terms of how many, I usually say about 3 sessions is the average. When you look at, again, the time, in terms of allowing the relationship to move forward, and with a week of practice in between, that represents about 3 weeks. So 3 weeks in terms of a time period is a pretty good, span of time to see, a pretty good level of change for the average dog owner. But again, like I say, in terms of, some, dogs that have gained a higher level of control, okay, I understand you're dealing with aggressive dog situations. This is where, again, taking longer, okay, of course, because again, it takes time to actually hit that tipping point. Well, it's going to take some time to reverse course, especially again when you deal with some dogs I call the 1 percentile dogs. You get into, pit bulls and German shepherds, and some dogs that are at that high level. Well, it's going to take time. And again, this is where, again, in terms of options, looking at home visit sessions, which can be very helpful because again, the focus is on the owner changing. But again, what I offer too in terms of the board and training process, the 2-week board and training, that can be a great option. Gives you a wealth of information. Everything's videoed. You get your own area on my website where you can go in and log in and watch change happening, but also a resource when your dog comes back into your home to continue the process forward. So I have the 2-week just your standard board and training process available as well. But I also have the aggressive dog rehab available as well, and that's also a 2-week process, similar to a board and train, but in terms of involvement of the owner, a higher level of involvement from the owner during those 2 weeks, because again, understanding when you're dealing with dogs that have gained a higher level of control, there's a lot of stress on the dog. You want to avoid situations, okay, where the dog's going to get very, very reactive, okay, if I'm taking the dog on a board and train. So there's situations where it's better for the owner to be involved that way. So understand that there's options available for whatever your situation is, whether it's common behavioral issues and you want to process it through, say, home visit or coming where I'm at for training, or again, the board and train option, the standard board and train, which again, another great option. But also, again, in terms of more intensive behavioral issues, okay, I'd encourage you to look at the rehab program itself, okay, which is a 2-week intensive rehab program where I'm working directly with the dog owner with the goal of on a daily basis. And so it's, again, another great option. So again, if you have any questions about training, what the options are, you can check out my website. Lots of great information there, but also you can contact me anytime. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thanks for watching.